published 17:18 Eastern Standard Time, the 10th of January 2018, updated 3:01 Eastern Standard Time, the 11th of January 2018. Chelsea and Arsenal have it all to play for at the Emirates in 2 weeks' time after Wednesday's Carabao Cup. First leg ended in a 0-0 draw. The Gunners rode their luck in a cagey contest but could well have stolen a winner, with good chances falling to Alexandre, Lacazette and Iwobi. Despite the lack of goals, there was plenty of entertainment at Stamford Bridge, and Sportsmail was on hand to pick out some of the things you may have missed. Cesar Azpilicueta left, and Hector Bellerin share a joke following the draw at Stamford Bridge. The Carabao Cup may not be taken all too seriously by some, but Chelsea did the best to play up the importance of Wednesday's semi-final. In scenes usually reserved for occasions such as a Champions League final, the clash at Stamford Bridge was preceded by an eye-catching smoke and lights show. Whilst certainly adding to the spectacle, fans were divided over the necessity of all the drama, with many likening it to a low-budget rock concert. Wednesday's semi-final clash was preceded by dramatic smoke and lights show. The lights certainly helped to build the atmosphere ahead of the semi-final showdown. This season has been somewhat of a renaissance for Jack Wilshere, and the midfielder was rewarded for his fine form with the captain's armband on Wednesday night. The 26-year-old has spent his entire playing career with the Gunners, but the meeting with Chelsea marked the first time in 179 games that he had been named skipper from the start of a match. Arsene Wenger has made it clear he sees Wilshere as an important member of the squad going forward, and the Englishman certainly looked full of pride as he led his team out of the first time. Wilshere may have started the match with the armband, but he couldn't finish it. The midfielder had to hand it to Shkodran Mustafi when he limped off in the 57th minute. He went down after blocking a cross from Victor Moses and tried to shake the injury, but ultimately couldn't continue. Arsenal fans will be praying it's just a knock, but history is not on his side. Wilshere lies injured before being substituted shortly into the second half in London. The Englishman makes his way off the pitch after suffering an ankle injury. Anyone who has been at school since the turn of the century will know the dangers of the circle game, and one audacious Chelsea fan couldn't resist a chance to try and catch out Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka. The game, popularised after an episode of Malcolm in the Middle in 2000, involves an individual making an OK sign below the waist using the thumb and forefinger. The aim of the game is to get the victim to look down at the gesture, and if they do, they receive a punch on the arm in return. As Xhaka lined up to take a corner in front of the Blues supporters, one man did his best to get his attention with the symbol. Fortunately for the Swiss, he was far too focused on the match. A Chelsea supporter tries to get Granit Xhaka's attention with the circle game in the first half. Brighton and Crystal Palace made history earlier this week when they became the first sides to play a match with the video assistant referee in place, but it was never called into use. That allowed Wednesday's game to cement itself in English football history by becoming the first match to utilise the new technology. There were shouts for a penalty from the away when Ainsley Maitland-Niles appeared to have been brought down by Victor Moses in the first half. Referee Martin Atkinson elected to consult the VAR, who informed him there was no clear and obvious error, so the decision of no penalty was upheld. Fans were quick to react to football's latest upgrade, with chants of VAR, VAR, VAR ringing out around the ground. Chelsea winger Victor Moses makes a late challenge on Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Referee Martin Atkinson consults the video assistant referee. Before waving play on, Atkinson looks at the VAR machine by the pitch. Before the Carabao Cup showdown, the Chelsea fans' supporters were fairly subdued during the first half, but there was plenty of noise at half-time. That was because Ross Barkley, who joined the club in a £15 million move from Everton last week, was given a formal introduction on the pitch. The midfielder would be eligible to play in the final if Chelsea reach it, and he has fully recovered from his hamstring. If Antonio Conte's men to go all the way, the Englishman could be the first player to start the season as an Everton player and win the League Cup since 1984. Ross Barkley is introduced to the Chelsea fans at Stamford Bridge during half-time. The English midfielder joined Chelsea from Everton in a deal worth £15 million last week. Arsene Wenger has had an up-and-down relationship with the press over his Arsenal tenure, but the Frenchman had to make himself comfortable among them for Wednesday's cup tie. serving the second of a 3-game touchline ban for abusing referee Mike Dean. Wenger was forced to take a seat alongside Britain's football journalists, many of whom have not been shy in questioning his methods. He sat alongside Jens Lehmann, who communicated instructions. Arsenal first-team coach Neil Banfield on the bench. Fortunately for the North London outfit, Wenger's absence was not felt as they secured a positive result to take back to the second leg of the Emirates. 3 seats were reserved for Arsene Wenger and his coaching staff in the press box. The Arsenal manager takes his seat in the stands prior to kick-off at Stamford Bridge. Wenger watches his team in action. Surrounded by Britain's football journalists, Alexandre is widely expected to seal a move to Manchester City during the January transfer window, meaning this game could well have been his last in the famous red and white. The Chilean did not start but came on in the 66th minute to a mixed reception from the away fans. He made a point of waving to the small corner of supporter following the full-time whistle. Was he saying goodbye? Alexandre makes his way off the pitch following the referee's full-time whistle. The Chilean waved to the away supporters before making his way down the tunnel.